Evan Carter, 35, is a liberal writer for The Progressive Voice, a left-leaning publication that he regards as a flag-bearer against personalities such as Elon Musk. He despised Musk and Doge. The so-called Department of Government Efficiency believes they are Trump's pawns, destroying the system he has long supported. His father, a steelworker in Ohio, was previously denied pension payments owing to a corrupt bureaucratic system. However, Evan continues to believe that Doge exacerbates the situation. Musk, in his opinion, is an arrogant billionaire, and he is determined to write a takedown asterisk for Doge, Trump's billionaire joke. Before digging into the tale, leave a comment about where you're viewing from and remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on the newest news. Evan enters the press room, which is suffocating with flashing lights and noises from the audience. He takes a seat near the exit, pen in hand, and a sneer forms on his lips. Musk enters the platform in a basic black shirt, his hair tousled, his eyes as keen as knives. Musk proclaims we're cutting $1 trillion from the budget deficit. His voice is calm yet stern. The government spends $7 trillion each year. We can reduce it to $6 trillion without jeopardizing important services. Waste and fraud are widespread. Doge is coming to repair it. Evan murmurs, what should I fix? Your bank account? He scribbles notes, using Musk's words as arrows to fire down. Evan seems unconcerned by the crowd's applause. He looks around, seeing a few Tesla logo shirts and several Trump insignia. All fanboys, he thinks, feeling like the only rational person in the room. Musk goes on. The objective is to spend 15% less, or around $4 billion every day. We're doing it now, no reports required, since every day wasted is an opportunity to reduce waste. Evan sneers, jotting down an asterisk, and Musk proclaims himself America's Saint Asterisk. He can't wait for the Conda to dismantle this glossy facade. Musk extends his hand, pointing to the large screen behind him. Here's an example, the Interior Department's $830 million contract for a 10-question online survey. You could do it on SurveyMonkey for $10,000, but no one utilized the findings. That's your tax money disappearing. Evan chuckles heartily and the sound echoes across the silent chamber. $1 billion for a study. Do you think I was born yesterday? It's a lie to excuse cutbacks. He looks to the throng for allies, but only receives a few frowns. Musk shrugs, unperturbed. Not $1 billion, but $830 million, believe it or not, is on DOE.gov. It's all public. Evan jumps up without waiting for a microphone. Mr. Musk, he replies, his voice dripping with disdain, how can a millionaire like you dare to reduce budgets when millions of impoverished people depend on Social Security? This is merely Trump's power move to polish the stats, right? The room becomes quiet, with all eyes on him. Musk tilts his head as if Evan has just posed a foolish question. Musk responds that we are not reducing the advantages of the poor, rather we are reducing waste to safeguard them. Want another example? We discovered a mine in Pennsylvania with 400 million sheets of paper for pension files, which took 6 months to complete and were often incorrect. Doge is digitizing it into days. Evan jumps right in and starts digitizing. Or an excuse to dismiss employees and abandon the elderly. You don't care about anybody but your earnings. Steve Davis, a tall, sharp-faced member of the Doge crew, walks forward. Evan, that mine only processes 8,000 pensions every month. We want them to retire quickly, not slowly. Evan exclaims, how easy to blame the mine. I'm guessing it's made up to polish Trump's shoes. Davis responds, not made up. 22,000 file cabinets with paper piled 10 floors high, much as in the 1950s. You may test it in Pennsylvania. Evan looks to the audience. Listen. They claim there's a mine full of paper. Does this sound real to you? This is how they justify cutting benefits. Someone yells, sit down and let them talk. Evan glares. I have the right to inquire whether this is a press conference, not Trump's party. He feels heat surge into his face, but does not stop. Joe Gebbia, a Doge member with a placid attitude, speaks out. I've seen mine, an elderly woman, wait 9 months for her pension and they got it incorrect. Doge is mending it, not destroying it. Evan smirks and fixes. Alternatively, it may be a pretext to dismiss individuals and appease Trump. Who is paying for the digitization? Taxpayers? Gebbia responds, no, we are using internal resources. Evan scoffs, internal resources? You mean Musk's money so he can charge more later? Think I am stupid? Musk interrupts, his voice harsher. Evan, if I desired money, I would not be here. Tesla and SpaceX do not need government contracts to thrive. We are doing this because the system is malfunctioning. If we don't solve it, it will collapse and take everyone with it. Evan interrupts, is it broken? Or do you want to break it for profit? Do not play the humanitarian card with me. Aram Mandasi, a young Doge engineer, rises, his voice wobbly yet resolute. I work for SSA. Did you realize that 40% of calls are scams? They take pensions from elderly individuals on a regular basis. Doge is going to halt that. Evan turns at Mandasi, his eyes burning. 40%? How fortunate that you have impeccable numbers to display. I guess it's a ruse to justify layoffs. Mandasi responds truthfully. We discovered 15 million persons labeled as living, more than 120 of whom were fraudulent. Data from 2008, undisturbed. Want to check? Everything is public on do.gov. Evan shakes it off in public? You mean, doctor, to justify your so-called fixes? 15 million more than 120? Why not 50 million for drama? Mandasi answers that it's genuine. Over 15 million people are identified as living even when they are deceased. Scammers target them for benefits and unemployment. Doge is deleting them. Evan yells, erasing? Or are benefits being slashed on the grounds of fraud? You're harming the poor. Mandasi shook his head. No legitimate receivers get more nor less. Musk lifts his hand indicating Mandasi to halt. Evan says, his voice dropping. Do you believe we are lying? Here's another $300 million in SBA loans for children under the age of 11, including a 9-month-old. Imagine a baby beginning a business. That is fraud, and we are cleaning it up. Evan stops, taken aback by the unusual detail, then jerks back. If it's true, so what? You are still using it to justify dismantling the whole system. Don't play the hero. Brad Smith, a fellow Doge member, speaks out. I'm at HHS. Did you know that the NIH has 27 unlinked ET systems, 700 distinct softwares, no communication, 27 CIOs in charge, and the majority of its employees are technologically illiterate? We are integrating them to improve medical research. Evan looks to Smith. Are they merging? Or an excuse to sell data to private companies? I don't believe your scientific spiel. Smith responds, we are increasing scientists' research budgets from 60% to 85%. You can confirm. Evan doesn't give up. Increasing budgets? So why are Medicare and Medicaid still at risk? You're ruining them to appease Trump. Musk answers, Trump has made it obvious. Medicare and Medicaid are fully protected. We're merely decreasing fraud by around $500 billion each year. The government lacks tracking capabilities. Evan yells, 500 billion? Do you think I will swallow it without blinking? It's an excuse to cut benefits. Musk shrugs, don't believe it, verify it. We have financials. The government cannot pass an audit because data is lacking. Tom CR, another Doge member, walks up. I'm at the Treasury. All government funds come via a single account. No supervision, no verification. We recently discovered $2 billion given to a non-existent NGO. No one knows what Stacy AB is. Call it phony if you wish. Evan laughs loudly. One account, a phantom NGO. Are you drafting a movie script? I don't believe a word. Check the response from CR. Trump's new order will repair that account and preserve your tax dollars. Evan looks to the audience. Listen. They use outlandish stories to justify cutbacks, claiming that 15 million people above the age of 129 months are receiving loans as well as phantom NGOs. This is Trump's fraud and Musk is running it. A lady yells, they're assisting us. Evan snaps back. Who is being helped? Musk is popular with wealthy individuals. Musk shakes his head, looking at Evan with a combination of patience and challenge. If you don't believe, go verify. Do.gov has everything. Every contract and every number. We are not concealing. But if you'd rather shout than look, that's your decision. Evan will not back down. I do not need your website. I'll uncover the truth and expose this deception. He goes to Davis, who is digitizing the pension mine, which benefits Tesla. Davis responds, no, retirees profit. Want them to wait 9 months? Evan rejects it. Don't teach morality to me. He turns to Jebbia and asks, what are you doing here, Ebbie billionaire, besides scoring Trump points? Jebbia responds, I'm here because the pension system is a disgrace. Elderly people deserve better. Evan scoffs, what do they deserve? An app that makes them lose everything. Tyler Hassan, a former oil CEO in Doge, talks, I am at Interior. I discovered that survey contract, which I might have completed in high school. There is no supervision under Biden. Doge is scrutinizing every transaction. Evan screams, reviews, or slashes to appease Trump. Hassan responds by reducing what's unnecessary, such as $2 billion to a phantom NGO. Evan dismisses it as just another elaborate story. According to Anthony Armstrong of Doge's Office of Personnel Management, we discovered that the IRS employs 1,400 personnel who are just giving out computers and phones. They could equip the whole IRS in a month but retain 1,400 for what? Evan laughs loudly as 1,400 people give away computers. Do you think I will purchase it? Armstrong responds, believe it or not, it is real. We're reducing overlap, therefore no firings. They are leaving freely. Evan turns to Musk, do you hear that? Laptops, NGOs, paper mines, all crap. This is how you justify cutting benefits. Musk responds, no benefit cuts. We removed 4.6 million government credit cards and doubled the personnel size. Do you think everyone needs two? Evan exclaims, credit cards. Are you kidding? I do not believe a word. The presser continues on for another 40 minutes. Evan is relentless. He turns to Smith, who oversees 27 systems at NIH. I bet it's an excuse to sell data to Big Pharma. Smith responds, no, so scientists work better. Evan dismisses, better for who? Musk. He turns to CR, donating $2 billion to a phantom NGO. Prove it. CR responds that it is public on DoGov. Check it yourself. Musk glances directly at Evan as he stands to conclude the conversation. Evan, if you want the truth, it is right there. But you have to look, we do not force believing. Evan shouts at him as he steps down. I don't need your invitation. I'll reveal this. The crowd separates. Some celebrate Musk while others boo Evan. He leaves my pen whirling as if he'll shatter it. He's eager to prove Musk incorrect, unknowing that the trek will alter everything. Evan sits in his little suburban apartment. The laptop's blue illumination illuminated his strained face. The press conference with Musk and Doge is still fresh in his mind. We're defending people regardless of the wild figures, the pension mine, the $830 million study, or Musk's last comment. He still thinks Doge is a hoax, a covert effort to reduce benefits under the guise of waste reduction. Determined to reveal their identities, Evan opens his laptop and types DOE.gov into the search box. He mutters with a chuckle, probably just polished PR trash. The webpage loads, strangely basic, with a big list of Doge's stated costs and PDFs attached. Evan scrolls down until he reaches the Interior Department survey contract, which is worth $830 million. He clicks, and a thorough document appears, a 10-question survey on national park satisfaction signed by an obscure consulting business. There were no outcomes published, and no one was held responsible. Evan frowns, repeating, no way, as the $830 million amount looms, reinforced by an interior official's e-signature. He writes down an asterisk, which may be falsified, but the signature, seal, and contract details seem too genuine, like a punch to his prejudice. He shakes his head, assuring himself that they are probably exaggerating it to justify cutbacks, but skepticism seeps in. If it is true, why didn't anybody notice it before Doge? He scrolls on, coming upon another that makes him grin dryly. SBA loans $300 million to children under the age of 11, a 9-month-old borrowing. He laughs loudly, mocking me. He opens the file and sees a list of hundreds of loans, the smallest for a 9-month-old in Florida, $50,000 for a tiny firm. Evan looks, his fingers halting. Sure, fraud, he mumbles, but $300 million? The list includes 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and 7-year-olds, all with social security numbers and loan amounts. Evan slams the laptop shut and paces the room. No way, he assures himself. He wants to think it's Doge's trick, but the details, codes, dates, and bank names are too detailed. He reopens it and digs further. A remark in the file states that over $300 million has been provided to persons beyond the age of 120 with no age verification. Evan mutters, recalling the 120-year-old quote from the press conference. He remembers Mandasi stating 15 million people registered as alive at the SSA and now the SBA. If this is true, he wonders, how broken is this system? Evan grabs his phone and calls Mike, a former Interior Department employee he knows from a previous government waste tale. Mike, have you heard of the $830 million survey? He says, his voice still doubtful. Mike groans over the telephone. Yeah, Evan, I saw that contract. Pure garbage, 10-part questions, no one used it, but the money is gone. Doge revealed it, and my employer went insane over the leak. Evan goes silent for a beat. He pushes, holding the phone, insisting that it is genuine. Mike laughs dryly without faking it. We wish it were less awkward. It's been buried in papers for 5 years and gone ignored. Evan hangs up and slumps into his chair. What if Mike is legitimate? He convinces himself that this doesn't mean Doge is correct, they're just exploiting it to decrease benefits. But Mike's candid tone remains, shaking him. He reopens Doge.gov and scans the list again. He murmurs $830 million for a useless survey. $300 million to children and the deceased. If this is true, what else? Musk dislikes admitting it, but the seed of mistrust he sowed during the press conference is blossoming. Evan clicks on the following item, $2 billion to NGO Stacey Abe, which does not exist. Instead, he schemes a phantom outfit financed by USAID. No address, no reports, just another weird story, he thinks. But the document has a Treasury approval mark. Evan mutters, if this is real, this system is even worse than I thought. He rises, pacing and massaging his forehead. He doesn't want to think Doge is doing well, but evidence is piling up. He sits and opens the SSA list that Mandasi suggested. $15 million over $120? No way, he says himself. But the data glare back, questioning his prejudice. Evan closes the laptop and gets his coat, determined to discover a flaw in Doge's narrative, or so he tells himself. Evan travels through Pennsylvania's twisting highways, feeble sunshine penetrating sparse trees, his head still confused with DOE.gov penalties, a $830 million survey, $300 million in SBA loans to children, and a $2 billion phantom NGO. He assures himself that if it's true, the pension mine is probably merely PR gimmick for Doge to flaunt. But Mike's call sticks with him. If the survey contract isn't a forgery, might the mine that Steve Davis and Joe Gebbia touted at the press conference be genuine? Evan mutters, most likely referring to a little shed that they are inflating to explain cutbacks. After 4 hours, Evan approaches a limestone slope with a dark cave entrance towering like a beast's jaws. He goes outside, the chilly wind making him shudder. A faded sign says Federal Pension Records Center. Evan smirks, sounds like a horror movie. An elderly worker with silver hair and a green jacket approaches. Are you a reporter? He asks in a hoarse voice. Evan nods. Evan Carter is here to view the mine that Doge boasts about. For 100 million sheets, correct? Ed the worker nods. That's it, come see. Evan followed Ed inside. Metal carts and rustling paper echoed through the darkness. The fluorescent lights flicker on and he freezes. Thousands of steel file cabinets extend eternally, 10 floors high, with yellowed papers pouring out. A labyrinth of dust and mold struck his nostrils. Ed points to 400 million papers from the 1950s. Each lawsuit takes 6 to 9 months and is frequently mishandled. I've been here 30 years and never seen anything corrected. Evan grabs a file, his fingertips dusted with old lettering. Why not digitize long ago? He inquires, still suspicious. Ed laughs sadly. Budgets were slashed or allocated to flops. Since 2000, they have attempted 3 times over budget and canceled each project. Doge was the first to pull it off, now it's days. Evan frowns as Ed points to a corner. Doge engineers wearing black polos scan data into computers. A freshly retired lady emerges from a counter, clutching a confirmation and beaming. I received my money in 3 days, when before I had to wait a year and they would botch it up. Evan turns to Ed. Is it really only 3 days? Ed nods and they scan it all. The systems are tight and there are no more mistakes. Evan circles around, examining it more closely. A young, bespectacled engineer glances at him. We completed 10,000 cases this week, which used to take 6 months. Evan observes that the asterisk digitizes quickly but legitimately. He asks Ed, is Doge for real, no cuts? Ed nods, no one is fired here. I'm no longer dealing with paperwork, which is better for my back. I used to spend all day pushing carts, but now I only check machines. Evan looks around and the other workers nod in agreement. One claims Doge brought scanners. We are not canned, we just work less. Evan moves to another area looking at unscanned stacks. He mutters, no way. He wants to label it a Doge prank, but Ed doesn't seem to be lying and the lady is too genuine. Her grin makes him think of his mother who battled with benefits before dying. Before Doge, he asks Ed, how long will it be for that lady? Ed responds, 9 months, and they shorted her $200. I saw her cry here. Evan goes silent, his pen motionless. If Doge is indeed assisting individuals like her, then what? He goes to the Doge engineer and asks, how are things going today, machines? The individual responds, high-speed scanners and our software from SpaceX with no more tax dollars. Evan smirks. SpaceX? So Musk is in on it, the engineer nods, and he loaned the technology for free. Evan asks, what's the catch with Musk funding? Asterisk does not want to purchase it, but the scene conflicts with his prejudice and Doge's engine is developing. Evan sits motionless in the automobile, peering out the window at the cave. Following his journey to Pennsylvania, Evan sits in his vehicle, streetlights throwing shadows on his confused face. The pension mine with 400 million sheets, the woman's grin after 3 days, and Ed's remarks regarding Doge's engine head. However, data ranging from the $830 million study to the mine's digitization continues to shake him. Determined to uncover a fault, Evan opens his laptop and clicks Doge again before choosing the SSA part Mandasi mentioned, 15 million above 120. The list is massive, with millions of social security numbers linked to 19th century births tagged as living and receiving benefits. Evan smirks ridiculously. However, when he digs further, he discovers that 40% of SSA calls are frauds that redirect pensions to bogus accounts. He murmurs, 40%, no way. He discovers a public audio tape in which a fraudster acting as a receiver requests a bank switch. My name is John Miller and I'd want to alter it to this account. Evan shudders as if hearing a robber in broad daylight. He telephones Linda, a former SSA contact. Linda, is the 15 million above 120 real? He asks. Linda sighs, the genuine Evan. I've seen it since 2008. Deceased people's listings are never updated and fraudsters utilize them to steal. Dogs are wiping them out. Evan frowns and 40% are scam calls. Linda is correct. I heard an 80-year-old weep after losing 2 months' pension because crooks stole everything. Evan becomes silent, his pen motionless. He remembers his father losing benefits due to system problems, which are now also frauds. To double-check, Evan seeks down the elderly person Linda described via an old source. She responds, her voice faint, my name is Mary. Last month, my pension disappeared. The bank said someone moved accounts. Doge recovered it in 2 weeks. Evan wonders whether Doge really helped. Mary responds, real, they locked the scammer and returned my money. Before, I waited a year with SSA and received nothing. Evan hangs up, his thoughts whirling. Evan sits in his flat, the phone screen illuminating his sleepy eyes. After the SSA statistics, 15 million false living persons, 40% scam calls, and Mary's narrative, he's no longer confident about Doge. He mutters they may be correct about fraud, but they are still cutting benefits somewhere. Doubt combines with guilt regarding his father, leaving him conflicted. To put the public to the test, Evan opens X and posts Doge brags about eliminating SSA fraud. Is 15 million more than 120 a valid excuse? Check out do.gov. He taps send and waits. 10 minutes later, X explodes. Musk supporters respond, now seeing the truth, huh? Doge saves us, but his leftist colleagues attack. You sold out Evan, Donald Trump's tool. One person writes, 15 million is fake, don't trust Musk. Evan frowns and responds, I don't trust anyone, just asking. Then Aram Mandace, the Doge engineer from the news conference, steps in. Evan, that's SSA data from 2008. We have fraudulent audio that you'd want to hear. Mandace connects to do.gov. Evan clicks, listening to the scammer's chilly voice again. He responds, I heard it, but why didn't anyone fix it before DJ? The system is horrible or you're exaggerating it. Mandace says that the SSA has attempted since 2008 but has failed, leaving no funding. Doge utilized free SpaceX technology and frauds have dropped from 40% to 10% presently. Evan comments that the asterisk 10% is legitimate. He wants to argue, but the stat prevents him. He adds, if this is true, why wasn't it made public sooner? Mandace responds, all is public on do.gov, have you read it yet? X divides violently. The Doge fan writes, Evan, you're blind. Musk is a genius. Another of the advanced voice DMs. Evan, what are you doing? Don't let Musk get you hooked. The newsroom phones shortly after, the editor shouting, whose side are you on, D over us? Evan adds, no one knows I'm chasing the truth, but he knows the pressure is increasing. Colleagues consider him a traitor. Musk supporters deride him as sluggish. Evan switches off his phone, his thoughts racing. Evan mutters, I need to face Musk again. He decides on a private interview in order to confront rather than capitulate. Deep down, he knows he's beginning to waver. After the X outrage, SSA's 15 million false living persons, Mandace's strong responses, and severe resistance from liberal colleagues, he can't sit idle. He still feels Doge is a Trump-cut tool disguised as rubbish removal. But the mine, Mary's account, and DOE proof continue to build up, unnerving him. Evan asks a private interview via X and Musk responds within hours. He enters the Doge building, recorder in hand, ready for a last fight to uncover the truth. Musk's workplace is unusually plain. An ancient wooden desk, paper piles, and a beaten-up monitor. Musk sits there, rumpled black shirt and unkempt hair, his gaze on Evan with interest and exhaustion. Evan, he replies, his voice low but not harsh. You're back, what do you want? Evan takes a long breath, I don't want fluff, just the reality. Why are you doing this? If not for personal benefit, why abandon Tesla, SpaceX, and all that money to reform this government? I don't believe you've got no angle. He stands straight, looking at Musk, waiting for a slip. Musk shrugs with a faint, enigmatic grin. If I wanted to make money, I'd go to California and sell electric vehicles or launch rockets. Tesla's revenue comes from customers, not taxes. SpaceX has government contracts, but it doesn't need them to exist. I'm here because America is going bankrupt. You are aware of the $36 trillion in debt. It does not disappear. Evan frowns, refusing to let Musk go. Don't feed me ideals, he says sharply. You use SSA, the pension mine, and the $830 million survey to boost Trump's image or gain lucrative Tesla contracts. Musk leans forward and taps the desk softly. Not Trump. Not Tesla. I'm doing it because the system has actually failed. Fraud totals $500 billion every year. Where do you think it will go? Nobody benefits if it is not fixed. There's no Social Security, Medicare, or anything. You observed the mine, which was 6 months per file but is now 3 days. That's genuine, not flexing. Evan shook his head. I noticed, but I also saw layoff notices on X. You were laying off workers, don't deny it. Musk responds 0.15%, Evan less than 1%. We are not firing, these are voluntary departures. Check Dove, it's all there. Evan falls silent, grasping the recorder. He thinks of his father, who was duped by a flawed system, and Mary, who Doge protected from a swindle. He says softly, if you're right, why hasn't anyone done it before? SSA, the mine, why are you here now? Musk sighed and looked out the window. They tried and failed. SSA has sought to solve it since 2008, but they lack the funds and technology.